Welcome, moms. Welcome to the Moms Club. I'm Monica Samuel as your host, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Julie Orchid.
Hi, Monica.
Hi, Julie. I am so excited. You know, this show is pretty special to us because our guest, we have a very special guest.
We do. We have a guest that, treat as our own.
I know. Well, that takes me back to why the Moms Club to start out with.
Totally.
So,
I love this story.
We are a group of 5 moms. We started out as close friends. And that's what so many of you moms have out there. You have these close, tight friendships that you're there for each other for everything. And so our kids went to school together, graduated in 2020.
Which was rough.
It was rough. And they moved. They've done great, as we shall soon see by when we're about to meet. But we've traveled together since that time. We've become like truly lifelong friends.
Well, we've done everything together. There's been, some illnesses, there's been some surgeries, there's been a divorce. These are a lot of things that, women need women for as friendships and groups. We've learned a lot about each other when we travel together. We learn, who needs what. Who's snarky? Like all of these things that friendships.
Who the good drivers are, who the bad drivers are.
Not mentioning any names.
I'm not going to name names because I'm the bad driver. But anyway, I'm not a bad driver. But no, it's a supportive, that's the thing. The Moms Club is all about your friendships and supporting each other. And women have that. And guys don't have that.
Listen, I've always had a really strong group of friends. I'll say that. I was lucky enough to go to a college where I still talk to those people every day. Happy to say my youngest has started there. But I will also say that our group, we really, really needed each other. And I would not be the same person I am without you guys, for sure. Like it was really do or die these past 5 years with, you guys and my friends. So, that really touches my heart. And I think that, you need a group of friends that you can talk to every day if you need to, or that you need to cry with, or you need to laugh with, or, it's critical. It's critical. And you don't really know it sometimes until something happens that's hefty.
Yeah, and we've had our hefty moments.
Yeah, I feel like I'm leading the hefty moment lead. I'd like someone else to do it.
We're not keeping score on that.
Yeah.
We have one person in our group. He seemed everything goes great for her, so she's our example. That would not be me. But no, it's and that's what all of you moms who are out there who are listening, that you all have that too in your life, I'm sure. And if you don't, I'm sure that you're going to meet that group of women who will be your lifelong friends. My mom had a group called the Bridge Club.
They never played bridge,
They played
Monica.
bridge one time.
One time, yeah.
And they never did again, but they were together through everything. And my mom, as of last October, she's the last survivor of her bridge club.
Yeah, but that's a really good, a sign of good long friendships.
Yeah. So
my kids used to make fun of me because I'd be like, I'm going to book club tonight. They're like, yeah, we know all about book club. What are you reading? I don't know, but we're going to book club tonight.
Nobody reads the book, let's face it.
Now it's Mahjong.
Few people read the book.
Yeah.
Well, we know one person who reads the book. That's
yeah.
I actually did read. I did read the last book.
I listened to the last book.
I know you did, and you kept telling me, I'm listening to it, but I keep falling asleep.
So I never said that.
Yes, you did. Well, the other great thing about the support that moms give each other is that we can help each other understand things that we may not understand because the world is changing so fast. And so one of the things that is changing is I'm learning a lot about dating. I have 2 sons.
Right.
And I don't quite understand how the dating scene works for this new generation. So
I'm sure they've tried to explain it to you.
The other night, for example, so my husband and I went to dinner at this restaurant, and the boys, my son and his friend were there, and they said, oh, yes, our friend so-and-so, he asked his girlfriend to be official at this restaurant. They talked about how they all planned it and the whole thing. And I said, okay, explain to me the trajectory. Explain to me the
stage
how it works. And they said,
dating.
Well, there's meeting them. I forgot what they called that. There's hooking up, which I didn't even want to hear about.
Yeah. Did you use the term hooking up?
What word? They used a different word.
Yeah, I think so.
I forgot what word
Go ahead.
they used. And then they said exclusive.
Yeah.
And then there's this moment where you have a restaurant meeting and you officially ask for this girl to be your girlfriend. And so then,
So what's the difference between
well, I said,
exclusive and
I said, what's
being
the
your
difference
girlfriend,
between
boyfriend?
exclusive and officially girlfriend, boyfriend? And the boys didn't know. They said, "Oh, I don't know what." Now that I stumped them, but then we asked someone yesterday, and they said, "Oh no, the difference when you're boyfriend, girlfriend, you officially ask. It means that you're going to introduce them to your parents." And I had to question
You had to
that.
jump in on that one.
I had to question that,
right?
Because my son spent a week's vacation at this girl's house and met her parents and spent a week with them. And I still was not allowed to call that girl his girlfriend because, oh my gosh,
Well, he didn't have the dinner. He didn't have the dinner and asked.
It's like, how dare
maybe.
I even suggest that was happening when I hadn't even, there's not been official ask.
Oh, you got gypped, Monica.
I did. So I'm still confused. And this is my point. And so that is why we are so excited today to have a true expert in this field.
That she is.
But not only an expert, but the daughter of one of our friends that we described earlier, and we'll meet her later.
Well, she's not only the daughter, but she is an accomplished CEO.
Well, just let me give her.
Oh, sorry. I got real excited. I love her like my own.
Proper due here. She is the CEO and co-founder of Distill, which is a next-generation dating app that uses AI technology to bring efficiency, transparency, and intentionality back to modern dating apps. She started the company as a senior at Dartmouth in 2024 and recently launched a beta version of this app in New York City. Please welcome Sidney Marsh. Welcome to the Moms Club,
Sid.
Wow, Sidney. Okay, so
how about that introduction?
You like that intro? Was that a good introduction?
That was perfect. Nailed it, Monica.
Good. Thank you. Well, yes. So Sidney, you're the expert, and we know you're the expert because you've explained a lot of this to us. We've had many meetings to discuss this.
And we kept going, huh?
I didn't even, occasionally I was thinking to myself, I have no idea what she's talking about. But I was like, I kind of got it. So we're going to take it for all these moms like me out there who aren't so tech savvy to understand. But this has an AI, artificial intelligence, for you moms out there who don't have any clue what's going on in the world right now. It has that component, which is a brand new thing that's happening everywhere. And it's what makes Distill different and exceptional. So can you explain, first of all, what is Distill? Explain to someone who's a mom who just woke up in this century and wants to know what's going on here with this dating thing.
Yeah, keep it like breakfast round table. Like if I'm asking you how your date was last night, Okay, go ahead, hon.
I can do that. But so what I'm so excited about Distill is we're trying to have an entirely new paradigm for online dating. So all these apps you've heard about, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, etc., are all based off of a swipe-based paradigm. And what I mean by that is you see a bunch of options. You're spending less than a minute is the average looking at each profile, and you're making snap decisions, mostly based off of how attractive they are. Like, let's be honest. We think that that's super psychologically unhealthy. It teaches you to commoditize people, and it's a massive time waster. I mean, the average is people are spending an hour a day swiping. So when frankly, a lot of my friends are investment bankers in New York and just don't have the time to do that. They're working 80, 100 hours a week. So you think there's not only a better way emotionally and psychologically, but also just to be efficient. Like, you should spend your time resting or going to the gym and working out or connecting with friends or, lo and behold, actually go on a date. So what we're trying to do is basically democratize this amazing thing, which is matchmaking. And matchmaking's been around forever. I'm sure you've heard people talk about the new Indian matchmaker show or all of these things that are coming out today. But what's great is that AI actually makes matchmaking, which is typically a service that you have to pay for and cost thousands, if not tens of thousands, up to $100,000. And it's typically something people would only do in America, at least when they're much older, like in their 40s, 50s, 60s. We're bringing that downstream to people in their 20s and 30s. And because of AI, this can actually be an affordable service that everyone can use. So by you onboard and you train your personal AI agent about your personality and preferences. That agent goes out and sources and vets matches for you, which completely eliminates the need to swipe. And instead of just doing that, it also gives you the full agent to agent transcript. So that means your agent is talking to someone else's personalized trained agent. So just think of it as their personal matchmaker who their only job is to represent your interests. You can see the conversation between those two people. Imagine your two best friends talking to each other saying, I think that person A and person Y are great because of this. And you can see all of that. So it's 100% transparency as to why someone was or wasn't a recommendation. So that's the high level. I'll
Yeah,
leave some room
that's
for
perfect.
questions.
But when you say vetting, like, are you talking like how deep does it go as far as your personality? Like, what you're like, what you don't like? Are you religious? Are you, all these things that people like run through the gamut of why you wouldn't like somebody or you would.
Absolutely. So what's so great is you can kind of make the experience as personal and deep level as you want it to be. Of course,
Sure.
we have the basic level questions you have to ask us, like what's your religious background? What's your age? Where are you from? Things like that. But if you want to get very granular, you want to say, I want someone that wakes up between 7 and 9 a.m. Like your agent can vet based off of that preference. So the more information you give us about what you like yourself and what you hope to have in a partner, the more deeply your agent can vet someone. So some common things we see in the agent-agent conversations are what's their communication style? What's their future plans? Like how do they view gender roles in a marriage? Things like that. So your agent can
Right.
really dive so much deeper than you ever could on any other swipe-based app.
So when I first heard about this, I said, so someday I'm going to go to someone's wedding and I'm going to say, how'd you two meet? And it's like, well, my AI agent met his and they really hit it
100%.
off. And so
Yeah.
that's how they introduced us. Yeah, but that's the new world that we're in. So
Well,
that's
I love this because we're learning as moms, we're evolving and like how this happens for you guys and what's so popular about online dating because we didn't really have that. Like I didn't get to put in that I wanted to date somebody who's 6'2", you know what I mean? Or be, you know what I mean? All these things that you like start out on the regular app and then you move to this. So this is even more personal about how it is. I mean, we don't have to arrange marriages anymore. We don't have to
well, we kind of want to, but
Well, that's
a whole
Sydney
other
can help with
story.
that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway,
So-
but I'm just saying, like in general, tell us some stories about Distill, and
yeah, you've started this beta test. I mean, have you had some successes? Have you seen some matches here?
Absolutely. And one of the stories I love to tell is related to this person, Noah. I'll leave out his last name, but he's okay with me sharing the story. So one of our great beta testers, a great guy in the city, I know him personally, got on the app. And something I should mention is because it's all AI and your AI is going to continue to get better and learn with you, it's not going to be perfect the first time because we don't have a perfect understanding of what we want the first time either. I mean, it's very easy for me to rattle off, oh yeah, build a dream guy, like this is what I want, but that's not actually reflective of my true preferences. So your AI is going to learn along the way and get refined and better with time. So the reason for that is we have some good fits, which are people that your AI agent thinks are within your stated preferences, and then some not a good fits, which are people that are slightly outside of those preferences. And what we've found is it's really helpful to show people both so you can kind of get an understanding of, oh, this is what my agent actually thinks I want. Let's think about if that's actually the case. So an example of this is Noah. He sees this girl, she's in is not a good fit. And he takes a very quick glance at her profile and goes, she's beautiful, she's the right age, she's in the right location, she's got a great job. Why is this not a good fit? I would like to meet her. So he goes into the agent to agent conversation and actually realizes that his agent uncovered that she's an extreme homebody. And he's actually quite extroverted and likes to go out quite a bit. And he's like, that's not something I would have figured out until like the second or third date. And at that point, that's like 8 hours of my time, maybe if these dates are generally going well, that's hundreds of dollars.
I was going to
'cause
say
he would, of course, pay
hundreds
for
of
these
dollars
dates.
later.
So
These days, especially. Yeah, no,
yes.
that's interesting.
So he's like, I'm so glad I know this because I shouldn't go on a date with this girl. Maybe we'd be great friends, but this isn't what I'm looking for in a long-term partner. And when you have that intentional mindset of I only want to go on a date with someone that I want to continue dating and see long-term, that just helps truly distill the dating pool. You're not willing to go on a date with everyone. You're wanting to go on a date with just amazing, high-quality fits for you.
So when
Yes.
you showed us the beta, so when you showed us how it works by going through it with us, you created your own profile. So you put yourself into this world and it gave you people that you matched with and it gave you people you didn't. Now you as the founder, the CEO, you can look through that. And did you make any adjustments? Like, because some of the guys some of them you don't. The ones you actually know, did you say, okay, that's not really jiving with what I really know. So maybe we need to refine? Because you said it's learning. So did you make
Yes.
changes based on your own personal experience with this, or what have you learned from being
Yeah.
part of the distillery, I guess?
I think the biggest thing we've learned so far in the beta is how can we ask people questions that get them to reveal specifics about what they want. It's so easy to say, oh yeah, I want someone who's fun and good looking and
Mm-hmm.
like to have a good time. Like that's great. Doesn't really tell us that much about you. We want to prompt people to say very specific things like, I really want someone who speaks a second language and would be interested in teaching me that second language. Like, we want people to reveal specifics about them because on a swipe based platform, the goal is to kind of make yourself as generalizably appealing to as many people as possible because you want as many matches as possible. That's not how Distill works. We want you to be authentically yourself, and you shouldn't match with hundreds of people at a time because people don't like, you should only have a couple of good fits that are very highly tailored to you. So that's kind of what we've been working on with the beta is like, how do we get the right questions out of people? How do we get people talking? And how do we learn? And a big thing I'll say, the transition from the beta to we're going to have a full scale app that will be launched in the beginning of 2026
Nice.
is the beta is just typing out survey. We're going to use voice AI actually in our onboarding process for the native app. This means we can get people talking. We can figure out where their voice gets excited and high pitched and like, okay, she really cares about family values because that's what she started talking about. We're going to ask her more
Oh.
questions about that and use branching technology to kind of follow up on that.
I mean, it's no secret that people like if I was going to go on a dating app, I'd probably have Monica write it.
I'm a good writer.
And she's a really good writer. And then I'd go
She'd
out
be
on
very
that date and I'd be
impressive.
like, it said what? Yeah. So, I mean, this is good that the voice activated things
Yeah.
like that because you make it really genuine. And that's what I love. Like you said, you don't want 20 or 30
Right.
people. You want the quality of 3 people. Yeah. We talked yesterday a little bit. Where are you bringing in more information about these people? I mean, do you go to social media or how is it? Is it intertwined or
Yeah,
to
'cause
make it more personal?
besides what they're saying about themselves, because they can say almost anything about themselves.
I mean,
but
I'm sure,
is there
Monica,
a
you would
way
write
to-
a glowing.
Yes.
I would. Oh my gosh, you'd
That's
be
right.
so desirable.
So, yes, well, one of the big ways that we can kind of verify if people are representing themselves accurately is, of course, we have AI analysis of the photos you submit. So, like the 3 to 5 photos that you give to us. Also, you
Oh.
can choose to upload screenshots of your Instagram page or another social media page that you think represents you. So that's kind of a way that we can kind of match up your personalities. Like, for example, if I'm super loud and boisterous in all my photos and I describe myself as this quiet, timid little mouse, like my AI agent's going to maybe
Yeah.
flag
Red
that a
flag.
little bit.
Yeah.
An
Gotcha.
example of this is my co-founder, like when we were initially doing our testing before we had users, he made a profile and was trying to present himself as a single person. He's been married for a while, using younger photos of himself with his then girlfriend, who's now his wife. And his AI agent was like, I think you're dating someone. Why is there
Excuse
this
me.
woman in all these
Yeah.
photos? Like maybe you shouldn't be on this platform.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's going to be some of those wild loose
Yeah.
cannons out there that
Well,
do that.
there's nothing is perfect.
Right.
So, and well, I feel like we can share this too. So you have a boyfriend that you met at the gym. So there's the old-fashioned way of doing this. So how do you compare the old-fashioned way, and what do
Yeah.
you believe the difference between if I'm advising my son, you should still go, you should join the running club, you should do this, or hey, you should get on Distill, and maybe that's the way you find a match that's most perfect for you. You won't spend so much time with this girl you think loves to run, but turns out she's not
really-
fitting for you.
Yeah.
You found out 5 weeks later. So what's your advice about that?
Absolutely not. The first thing I'll say is I would never discourage people from trying to reach out in real life. I think that that's
Yeah.
a great way to meet someone, and I love that that's the start of my story with my now boyfriend. But yeah, I think that Distill is just a great additional tool because there are a lot of things, and just for example, social media in general has made people unfortunately more intolerant to in-person rejection because it's so easy to tell online, kind of get a vibe for someone is or isn't into you versus if you're cold approaching someone, it's either a flat yes or a flat no, and you don't really know where it's going to go. So
Yeah.
people are being increasingly like, I think there's a stat I saw from Date Psychology saying 45% of men that are 18 to 25 have never approached a woman before.
I'm
I think
floored
that's a
by
shame.
that.
I think people should
Yeah.
approach people,
Yeah.
but that's unfortunately the reality. So we want to give people more tools available to them so they have more opportunities to meet great people.
That's amazing. I'm loving this. I feel like
I
I'm really
think, I
learning.
think it's good.
Yeah.
Should women who have a current boyfriend just fast track it and say, hey, you need to get on Distill. I need to make, do we match up?
Oh,
Like it would be a way to figure we are a good fit. Or maybe, oops, we should think about this.
possibly. I
Is
don't
there
know.
a future like second act to this where people can just check out, who they're dating and say like, let's all put our stuff, let's just match ourselves. And
I think
see if
she's just trying to quality match some good people together.
I want to totally quality match. So I'm just saying, if this is good, think about it.
Yeah,
you could just say,
maybe.
this is my perfect match. This is a better match than if I had kept,
We're certainly not building a platform that's aimed to break up current couples.
That's
but
right.
Oh, well, I wouldn't. Well, I hope that wouldn't happen. But if you save some marriages, that's another. That might
So
not
how-
I'll say this one
Yeah.
thing. There was someone that's on the platform that I dated briefly. And my AI agent called out 1 or 2 reasons why it didn't think we were a good fit. Those are exactly why we didn't continue. So
Yeah.
That's my,
That
and
actually was a
therein lies
pretty
my
good call
point.
out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So there you go. I think that's
Exactly.
great.
How much do you have to go out and talk about Distill and tell me what your day looks like as CEO?
Absolutely. I think every day looks so different for me. I mean, truly week by week. Like, for example, I'm booking my flight to SF for Tech Week coming up in
Oh.
October. So I'll be doing
great.
events through that. I mean, just last week, I hosted a founder funder mixer with Upfront Ventures. I'm going out and meeting venture investors, either just socially to just build those relationships. And very soon it's going to be truly actually pitches. So having 2 to 3 pitches a day,
Yeah.
hopefully even more. But yeah, I mean, it varies so much. I mean, tonight I'm going to an event to support female founders. And that's also a big part of, I mean, female founders are so dear to my heart because I am one. And also like, there's so much room in the world for where female founders can make so much of an impact, particularly with AI, because AI is going to shape so much of the world. If women are not at the table when those decisions about how we can use it appropriately are made, it's going to have ripple effects that affect everyone, including women.
I love that.
I think we need to take a class in AI.
Well, we definitely do.
Yeah.
I will say this about AI. One day I put my own name in there to learn about myself. It was great. It was perfect, spot on, except it said I had 3 children.
You do.
I'm still wondering who that third one is.
I know who it is. Like,
She has her theory, but I'm like, yeah. So it's not perfect. Everybody should know there are some things that it doesn't get right. It's still
I think
learning.
it's spot
That's the
on.
whole thing of how it
Absolutely.
works.
And that's so important into like why we think the evolving feedback loops. So when you're giving your answers, if you aren't interested in suggested or not suggested fits, it's going to get better because I mean, I think we're all just going to be blown away by how good AI becomes. Like even in a year from now, it's going to be night and day difference. So starting
Totally.
now when it's still learning, so we have this amazing data set and can create really interesting and accurate matches for everyone.
Yeah. Well, it's very exciting.
I mean,
And it's exciting that you're a CEO at soon to be 24 years old. That's very impressive.
yeah.
Kudos to you, Sydney. I mean, this is
For
amazing.
sure. I mean, I've learned great things about this. This app is amazing. And I can tell you that your pitch to this is excellent because I have so many questions afterwards and love to learn about it. So all of that's positive. I did
Yeah.
ask you if I would be the oldest person on your app. And you're
It's aimed for people in their 20s to
Yeah.
30s. So I highly encourage anyone, if you have children in that age range, to check it out. Links right
exactly.
there.
But it's for your children.
I know. I sometimes forget. Yeah.
We have some wonderful women, our Zoomer moms, who I'm sure have a lot of questions about
know.
this. So welcome, Zoomer moms. Welcome to the Moms Club.
Yes. I can't wait to hear what they're going to say.
All right. Welcome, ladies. So let's start with Kathy. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? And do you have a question for Sydney?
Yeah, a million questions. Yes. First of all, Sydney, my goodness, you're brilliant. I think this is amazing because there's so many things out there nowadays where they're triggering and people get angry very easily, whether that be politics or religion or heck, even your favorite sports team. this can avoid a lot of those conflicts up front. So kudos to you. My name is Kathy Ward. I'm from Plano, Texas. I've got a daughter who's 25 and a son who's 21, and they're the greatest blessings in my life. And it's, Monica and I've had this conversation. It's a very different point in your life and you love it. Like my daughter came to me for advice today and I'm like, oh, I love it when my kids ask me for advice, but I'm a former elected official. I'm a former special education teacher, did radio for about 10 years here in the Dallas area and currently serve on a commission for the state of Texas. My question is, do you have plans, one, for older people, like is down the road, especially, unfortunately divorce. I've been through a divorce before. It's part of the reality of our world. Do you have plans to open up that field for people who are older, who are maybe getting into their second marriage or sometimes third marriage? And then also, is there a way, and Monica, you kind of talked about it, I would love to go in there and plug myself in and my husband in. Maybe can you have a separate app for people who are like,
I don't think that's such a bad idea.
Beginning of your marriage, you're like, well, I don't want to tell somebody that I binged true crime for 20 hours a week.
Right.
Yeah.
So do y'all have some plans moving forward like that with those areas?
Absolutely. Great questions. And to your first one, I'll say my vision for this app in the future, though we are right now targeting people in their 20s to 30s in urban areas, is I want it to be an everything app. AI and agentic systems. So not just one AI agent talking to another AI agent, but this entire system of like little busy bees that are communicating with each other and creating a fully fleshed out ecosystem can learn how different relationship dynamics work. Like maybe like a man and a woman in their 50s post-divorce don't flirt or aren't attracted to the same types of things as a man and a woman that are both 25 do. Maybe if like think about J-swipe, maybe like that is a different set of like qualities and qualifications, and that's what we can build to. So not just you personally, but also the types of relationships you're seeking. So absolutely, we'd love to expand into all different relationship types and ages, races, religions, everything like that. In addition, I think that your second question gets at something that's so critical. What we've really discovered about our beta pool is people, we've always known this, but people love learning about themselves. It's why BuzzFeed is such a big thing. People like to know what donut they are. Like people just love to hear about themselves and just that process of self-discovery. And that's something that's really cool with our platform. So when you create a profile in Distill, your AI agent generates a personality and values summary about you. And that's something that your matches can see. And you do have the ability to make edits if you think for whatever reason something was wrong. But that's kind of a cool way to learn about yourself. And it could be a great way that your partner can learn about you. Like, oh, I didn't realize that you love travel photography and that's a real big passion for you. And that's so represented on your social media page, or it's something that you talk about when you're talking about your favorite pastimes. So absolutely, like that self-discovery aspect, not just in your preferences for a partner, but actually yourself. And an example for me is people always tell me, you're so extroverted, whereas I kind of consider myself like kind of in the middle. But then I sort of saw myself through other people's eyes. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I am pretty extroverted. I guess that's true. And just learning more about myself. So absolutely.
Love that.
I just had a great idea. Why don't we start moms clubs using this AI thing? People can actually meet friends. They can meet their own
there
friends.
you go.
We'll talk to her about that later.
Yeah.
Constanza, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us where you're from, a little bit about yourself, and do you have a question for Sidney?
Oi.
Hi.
Yes. Hi, guys. I'm
Hi.
Constanza. I am from Brazil, currently living in Miami. I am a mother to a beautiful and healthy and wonderful and incredible 11-year-old daughter. So this is very much top of mind for me, and my ears are fully present, and I am listening, and I am worried. So seeing that my daughter is 11, I can't help to think, sort of what the future holds for her when she's at the right age of dating, because as we know, that's not allowed quite yet.
No.
But will Distill make dating fun? And I think this could all kind of mean a lot for everyone, right? I feel like the fun of dating kind of is completely out of the picture as of recently. I'd hear from my friends all the time. So how will this make it more fun and exciting for everyone?
Good question.
Yeah, I like that one.
Absolutely. And one of the big things I hear when I ask people about their dating experiences, particularly people that have a big online presence and have tried these apps, is dating feels like a second job. Like I said, you're swiping for an hour a day, you're going on a bunch of first dates that don't lead to a second. It's exhausting and people are having burnout. I recently read an article called People are taking situationship sabbaticals. Like people can't even deal with situationships, which aren't even exclusive
Love
or
that
boyfriend
word.
girlfriend. It's like
Yeah.
the first stage. So like that's the level of burnout people are experiencing on these platforms, and it's completely what we're trying to undo. And having your agent basically do the filtration process for you, which eliminates this massive
Yeah.
labor on your part, should make it more fun. Like all you got to do is focus on the actual connection element, not the filtration and the search element. That shouldn't be your job anymore. That's what AI is so great at. Another thing I'll mention for your daughter and just for moms of girls everywhere is we're taking a different approach to like what are the values that we're putting forward on our app. So my co-founder is a PhD in psychology. He was my psychology professor at Dartmouth, and something he chats about a lot is like the different priorities for men and women. Like right off the bat is men, the number one thing they're looking for is physical attractiveness. Women, the number 1
Shocker.
through 5 things they're looking for are honesty, reliability, safety and security, things like this. Dating apps on the swipe-based paradigm have never highlighted those elements. Those are buried, like maybe you can infer like, oh, he seems nice in the photos, but you don't really know. But us putting personality and values reports, and then this agentic conversation where you can see like, oh, here's his communication style, and here's where he talks about his family and friends and how important that is to him. Like it's putting forward the things that women really care about and putting that in the spotlight, which has never really been the case for dating apps. So that's something I'm, again, as a female founder, I'm very excited
Yeah,
about.
So
that
give
is
us
great.
3 top things that women want or like. I mean, you've got to know like I want to know what's important.
Yeah, so some of the top 3 are honesty, kindness, reliability. So shouldn't come as a shock to any woman out there, but those are pretty
Right.
important.
Yeah,
I think it's cool that you bring it up.
that honesty, and yeah, that is number one. I would
That's
think.
number 1.
Lisa, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and do you have a question for Sydney?
Yes, my name is Lisa Morris, and I am married and have 2 daughters. One is 30 and one is 32, and they are both single. I'm listening, and I have a question on this. So I just think if I put my husband in there, I love him, and I think we're a great match, but we would not have matched. So where do you, because I know that the things that were important to me then are not the same things that are important to me now. So if I'm basing it on what was important to me when I'm 25, that might not carry on through my life, but like opposites attract, and there's some things you need a little tension. So if I'm going so much for this person, it's just it almost feels like almost boring. I don't know what, tell me you're taking care of that.
So I'm so glad you asked. And it gets a little bit into what Kathy mentioned about like, do you want to expand this app to people in different demographics, like age-wise or whatever? And yes, we absolutely do, because relationships do look a little bit different in different age categories and different demographics with different backgrounds, whatever it is. People, what they're looking for changes, and it can change even in the span of 5 years. And that's why like AI knowing like all of these high level patterns and being able to like kind of apply that to its algorithm is going to be so great, because it can be such a tailored process. It's not like, oh, here's just a blanket, like if this person checks these boxes and this person checks these boxes, we'll put them together. Also, again, one thing that I'll mention is going to be so important is these evolving feedback loops. So as we gather a massive set of data and a variety of different kinds of people, AI, one of the things that's really, really good at is pattern recognition. So it will be able to say, oh, just because Cindy and Kathy like have all these things in common, they both said no to each other. Why is that happening? Like, but Sydney's saying yes to people that are completely different from her in terms of, let's call it politics or like level of religious dedication, whatever you want to call it. So those are things that will get better with time, and it's kind of a data problem. And that's one of the reasons why like AI is going to be such a benefit, is helping uncover those underlying patterns that to the naked human eye is just kind of glosses over your head.
What is some of the feedback that you get from kids your age? I'm sorry, I called you a kid, but you know what I mean. Like,
I still refer to myself as a kid.
Okay,
sometimes.
well, I'm just saying, like,
But,
and that's how. Yes. Anyway, so
yeah, so
what's some
the
of the?
feed-
Yeah, I want to hear like what some of your, the beta testers are saying, or like, people that are using your app.
Yeah, it's some things I get are people saying it's like super fun to read the agent conversations. Like they
Nice.
think it's so funny to see this little like person in the cloud going out and representing them and seeing how good or not good it maybe is. I know I've talked to a few girls that said they really like that they're able to see like right off the front, like what people's values are and their type of relationship they're looking for versus like having to just play a guessing game. And actually like about half, more than half of people in their like 18 to 35 are looking for serious relationships. It's all just about getting those people together. Like you don't want to throw them all in the same pool, which is what all of these swipe-based apps are like. And it's like, okay, figure out the right person for you. Like, no, like the way we're set up is you have to answer a longer onboarding process. Like that filters some people out already. Like if you're just looking to go on a date, one night date with someone you think is attractive, like that's what Tinder's for.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right.
So our last Zoomer mom today is a woman that we know has a lot of concerns. She has 2 children, a daughter, especially. She's got very great concerns about her daughter's dating life. So please welcome Jennifer Marsh, who is Sydney's mother.
Yes.
Welcome to the Zoomer room. And do you have a question for Sydney?
Yes, I'm not just a mom. I'm happen to be the mom of Sydney.
That's right.
That's right.
And I am from Austin. She has a brother, Sam, who is also, he's in college. So I've seen from her experience and his experience how the world of dating is just so different than it used to be. And a million reasons, like we all know about the epidemic of loneliness and about the inability for people to develop deep relationships and the limited time they spend, in contact with one another and sort of having these face-to-face conversations and sort of in the room, breathing the same air. And, everyone basically is questioning, how do we move forward with technology, but still be human? And one of the things that I think is so interesting about what I'm so proud of Sydney for doing is she followed her heart and stuck with her passion for psychology and worked with her professor from her, an entrepreneur who wasn't at Dartmouth, but is more the age of her professor, as well as her professor at Dartmouth. And, they really are trying to solve a problem. Like this clearly needs to be a business, but I think first they're trying to really figure out, and that's the basis of the original. They've pivoted a number of times. It's been a number of different things, but Sydney, I'd love for you to tell me what you think at this point. But I really think the core sort of drive behind the whole app is like, how do we create deep, meaningful connections? That is the North Star, the guiding light, the thing that drives all the thinking behind the core architecture and engineering of the app. And Sydney, I'd love to hear what you think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll also mention, because I know you're obviously a boy mom, as I am a sister to Sam. And I'll talk a little bit about the male experience, especially with like the loneliness epidemic. And I remember learning about this from Bill, my professor in college. And that is there's an epidemic with everyone, but particularly with men, that men are having less close relationships than they used to. And men are increasingly relying on girlfriends for that emotional support. Yet people are seeing these dating apps and they're not finding those meaningful relationships, which just creates such a negative feedback loop that is just making all of society, I think, worse in general. And like the reason why I wanted to do this, I didn't originally wake up and be like, wow, I really want to build a dating app. But being in college and being a psychology major and learning about this, I'm like, wow, I really want to find a way to help fight this. And romantic relationships are such a protective factor in just your general psychological health. If you're satisfied with your deep, close relationships, friendships, yes, as well, but also romantic relationships, you are a kinder, more empathetic person in general. And the ripple effect is massive. And another example of that, this is something my mom always says to us, is the best thing you can do is go home and love your family. And that's one of the best things you can do for the world. And a romantic relationship is a big part of that. So if we can help connect you to people that are an amazing fit for you and can help you build a life with this person, society gets better as a whole. And also I'll touch on one more thing, which I think I talked about why this app is amazing for women. I'm also going to talk about why it's amazing for men. Of course, I'm talking about heterosexual relationships in this instance, but on swipe-based platforms, women are interested in 3 to 15% of male profiles. On Distill, women are interested in over half the male profiles they see because we give you high quality profiles and we give you more information, the information you want to see. So men are having a better success rate and women are seeing better quality. So I think it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Personally.
Girl, you just put a bow on that. That is amazing.
Yeah,
that is perfect.
That is.
Yeah.
So in terms of the kind of questions, like, are you looking more immediate dating meeting or like more long term? Because if you're thinking about your psychology majors, you kind of know how it works. When you get married, a little known secret is you basically marry the whole family.
Oh.
You're marrying
Oh, yes.
everybody that like if you're not careful about who you like what's the dynamic
I don't know. Why are you looking at me?
I guess I'd heard, but never mind. No, I'm like not looking at you, and that's just true. So, how deep are these? Do these questions get more extensive? Like, so
Yeah,
you
do
can
they
think
talk about family?
to
Do they
think
talk about
those
their
things.
siblings? Do they
Because-
talk about family life? Like your mom says, the
Yeah,
best thing you can do is go
love
home
your
and love your
family.
family. Which, by the way, Jennifer, that's beautiful.
That is,
Yeah.
you know what? We've been asking for tissues
I
here.
can't take any credit for that. That is a quote from Mother Teresa.
I don't care where it came from. That you're teaching your kids that. Yeah. So
I'll take credit.
You should have
Yeah.
taken credit for it. Nobody would have known. But just even in a bigger picture, you know, how much are you really learning? Like, if you learned, are you keeping in mind that they're like, what's their relationship? Because I know as a mom of two boys, mothers of boys are very protective throughout their lives and might be quite opinionated about their future spouse or whatever. And could be very involved. Not that I will be very
No,
nice
not at all,
and
Monica.
easy to
Not
get
at
along
all.
with.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you put that in their mind to like, okay, what's your relationship with your mother? What's your relationship with your father? What's your like? Do you get into more things that actually could long term? I mean, you're getting them to meet each other initially and get to know each other, but to put in their mind, when I do meet this person, maybe I should
right.
be careful how when I am introduced to the potential in-laws or whatever, what that looks like.
Yeah. What do you think,
Yes.
Sid?
So we do try and keep some of our questions a little bit more open-ended, but we do actually have a question that very specifically targets, tell us about your childhood and your early life. Like, were you very close with your family? Is that a core value for you? Or were you very emotionally tied to your hometown? Did you move around a lot? So we do encourage people to talk about that in general. And we want to give people space to, like, if they want to talk about one thing more than something else, like, that's their prerogative to do so. And I do think using voice AI to do these onboarding processes will get even better at that. But yes, we do ask people, one, tell us about what you want in general in a partner. And we give some examples of like values, like substance use, like politics, things like that. And a big thing people often use that space to talk about is future family planning. Like, do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? Do you want your parents involved? Like, I see a lot of people use it for that. But also your childhood, like people often talk about their relationship with their parents and if they had a lot of siblings and what that was like. So yes, that's definitely something that is seen a lot on the app.
Well, that's key.
Yeah, well, it's interesting too because you all are psychologists, so you can look into those things that are so important. Constanza, I feel like you have another question over there.
I mean, I'm brewing over here. Can you?
Yeah, and you have.
I mean, this may be how your daughter dates when you know what I mean, and how it happens for her.
And you have the whole
that again?
future ahead of you.
I said this may be how your daughter dates
Yeah.
in the future and how it's going to happen for her.
Yeah.
So
No, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, listen, we all hope that she makes the right decision, whether or not it's with an app or without an app. But I feel like by the time that she's ready to take that step forward, that everything will be buttoned up. AI will know exactly what it's doing. What I don't want is that human connection to get lost within the
Yes.
process.
Absolutely.
I've had my fair share of bad boyfriends and good boyfriends. I know Mia will have, her breakups and heartbreaks, but that human connection is so important. And sometimes, you meet somebody and you fall completely in love without even speaking to each other. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm curious. I'm excited about this for the future. The future is bright for you, Sydney. So very, very exciting stuff. for
yeah.
you.
Thank you. Yeah. And I love that you're focused on that because that's obviously such a critical element. And I wouldn't be doing what we're doing if human connection wasn't such a critical part of it. So one thing I'll mention really briefly with dating apps, and one of my beta users mentioned this to me, and I thought it was such a good quote, is that it feels like a video game. Like, it's like, how many matches can I get? How many points can I rack up? Like, how many inbound messages can I get? And like, that's the opposite of human connection. That's the commodification of people. That's what we want to get away from. And I think what's like I mentioned earlier, like the goal of a dating profile to be quote unquote successful is to be generalizable to as many people as possible. And that's the exact opposite of what we want you to do on Distill. We want you to be specific and niche to what you want and who you are. Be as authentic as you can so we can give you the most authentic connection. And then from there, we want you to go on that date because you don't really know until you see that person in person, and then it's you have that connection or you don't. And generally, of course, if everyone is being safe and we have safety features built in, it's always great to go on that date because you learn more about yourself for it. You can be like, wow, I thought this is someone that I wanted. Turns out it's not, or vice versa. Like I really wasn't sure about this going in, and oh my gosh, he's amazing. She's amazing, whoever.
Yeah.
But I do think that is so important. So getting people to go not just on dates, but on dates that are highly likely to convert to a second and third and wife or husband. So that's
Can
cool.
they send each other voice notes? Is it something that if they chose to communicate and maybe to get a little bit of
that's
step
an
ahead
idea.
and hear their voice, perhaps, is that a possibility?
So for the beta, as of right now, no, but for the app, yes, that is something we want to do. So like the way it would work is basically your agent recommends people, you say you're interested. If the other person also says they're interested in you, then you go to a human-to-human chat in which you could send voice notes, send messages, pictures, whatever, and then decide if you want to meet up in person.
Can
What
you
I- go
share
ahead.
real quick that you mentioned safety? Can you just mention that really quick? Because I know a lot of the reasons women are getting off of swipe based is because they still don't feel like it's safe. They're really worried about that. So
Yes.
can you
So
share how
a big
you've added
thing that what we're able to do with AI is you can kind of get a sense of who someone is via their online, very public online presence. So one, we can look at the photos you submit and tell with the high degree of confidence if they're AI generated or not, because that's going to continue to be an issue. It's going to be a greater issue as time goes on, unfortunately. And also we can say like, okay, you gave me these stats about you. Like we can just do a broad-based, very public information search and be like, we are 90% sure or higher that you are who you say you are. And even things like we're deciding if we want to go through with this, but like if you lie about your height, we can kind of tell from your photos. Like the AI is like, I don't know
Or
about
your
that.
age. Yeah.
Yeah. So when it
There are
finds your
ways in which you can
mugshot
kind of a little
online,
bit
it's like
verify your
that's a red
identity. And we
flag.
do want to make sure this is a like exclusive community. Like this is a community of people that are here for the right reasons,
Right.
and putting checks in place to make sure that that is the case.
Well, that's
Correct
good.
me if I'm wrong, Sydney, but this feels really nice because it's a little bit like the old-fashioned way of meeting someone with a modern twist and going together with technology as we evolve. Yes? No?
Yes,
Yay!
absolutely. Yeah, we want to mimic how people behave in real life dating, but use the benefit of an online platform, which really just expands the community available to you. So that's the benefit of online dating, taking away all the negative things that it's kind of turned into in terms of the video gamification, I'll call it, of modern dating apps.
Well, and that's also the all part of social media too, because when you mention that it's how many people say that I like you, it's the same thing in on Instagram or TikTok. You're looking, how many likes did I get? How many followers do I have? We kind of have that mindset. So, but you want this to be, you're trying to meet one person, not say that I have a fan club of people that decided they would
That
love
sounds
to date me.
exhausting. Dating should be if it enhances your life and not exhausting. Because really, a really good, deep relationship should be something that is like nice to have, not something that you're like, you know what I mean? Feel like it needs to complete
Feels
you.
like it's a job too.
Right,
So-
right.
Yeah.
So I love that. Where
Yeah,
does
this-
Sam fit in the picture of Distill? Please spill. Is he
college.
signed up yet?
Sorry, repeat that one more time.
Your brother, has he
Yes,
signed
has
up
he signed
yet?
up?
He has signed up, yes. And
Oh, okay. Did
I
not know
happen
that.
to know that a cute girl likes him on it, and I'm trying to bug him to
Really?
be like, get back to her.
Oh.
But he's busy. He just moved into school, so
Oh. Well, that's
Starting his
that
sophomore
begs my
year.
last question. So if that happens, so a cute girl likes you, and you see that, do you put a bug in their other person's ear? Because they have to just both decide they like each other. Do you send a
So I
hint
would
like,
never reveal
hey,
that this specific person likes any one specific person, but
Right.
we would have a notification that goes out saying someone on the platform has shown interest in you. Make sure to check back in, and if you're interested in anyone, indicate that.
Okay.
And then, of course,
Yeah,
we
so
will
it's
connect you as soon
Kind
as
of a
you
yes,
show
no,
interest.
maybe situation? Or
Sorry,
just
say it again?
like when that happens and they connect, someone on the platform has shown interest in you, is it like yes, no, maybe I'll go out with them? Or how does that, I mean,
Yes. So
Okay.
actually something that we're doing that's a little bit different than you'd see on other dating apps is you can choose to say yes, no, or maybe to someone, but you would also say like, I do or don't want to be connected. So you could say maybe, but I want to be connected, or yes, but I don't want to be connected. And that just could be like you are interested in checking it out. You're traveling, so you're not in the right place to go on a date, but you still want the app to learn and get better. And I do think this maybe is kind of critical because having a forced choice on dating products, like there's a big difference between someone that's a 95% no and a 60% no.
Right.
So having a way to kind of capture that information is really helpful. Because I know that, I mean, I've had to try out all these apps just to see my competitive landscape. And sometimes it's like, how fast can I swipe away versus okay, fine.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
What do you want us to know as moms about this dating app, like, or in dating in general? Like, I'm down with. I've learned situationship. I've learned exclusive, and then apparently you have to go out to dinner and ask someone to be your girlfriend or boyfriend.
I also learned the other day that just the boyfriend-girlfriend thing does not mean that we should start planning the wedding. Because when I mentioned to those boys, are they getting married? And she's like, no,
Stop
they're
saying
never
that.
getting married. It's
Yeah.
like,
So
yeah,
what do you
we're all
want us to
learning.
know? Like, teach us something so I don't stick my foot in my mouth today.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the biggest thing and what we've all kind of seen is dating is such an evolving landscape and there's so many trends. And yes, some of them are kind of clickbait, like Shrekking. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I
do.
know the movie Shrek.
I know what that
but yeah.
I do know what that
Basically,
means.
Shrekking is when you date someone that's
Dating down.
not as attractive as you because you're just
Oh.
settling. So that's a fun little
I'll
dating
talk
app
to Georgia
trend,
why she
a
didn't
little bit
teach
of a
me that,
buzzword.
yeah.
But it's a lot of noise in just dating in general. It's like, oh, dress this way, dress that way, like, or act this way, or say this line. Like, it's so much noise and clutter. What we're trying to do is just make it a simplistic, minimalistic process. Like, I know who I am, what I want. Maybe your agent can help you clarify that even further through like learning about yourself on the app and find you an amazing person and spend less time on the app, not more. We're not trying to increase daily active users. We're trying to increase amazing dates.
People out there having great dates. Well,
She
this
is
is awesome.
filtering great
I love
stuff.
it. I love
Yeah.
it. So, Sydney, where does our audience find you on social media, or how do they sign their children up for Distill or whatever they choose? How does
Where
this
does Lisa's
Absolutely,
girl
yes.
sign up on
where
Distill?
does Lisa get signed up? I will.
Not Lisa.
Oh, no, Lisa. Sorry, she's married.
Yeah.
Yes, so you can find
Nieces.
us on both TikTok and Instagram at distill.dating, and you can go to distilldating.com to sign up for the beta. Access code is curate, but native app will be coming out very, very soon. So some cities to start getting excited for: Dallas, Austin, Miami, SF, Chicago, Nashville. All start getting excited because we're coming to your city.
Yeah.
Great.
Possible launch
thank
places.
you so much, Sydney.
Thanks for
speaking-
spilling the tea on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of launch cities, that just segues right into what
this.
we're doing. We are doing Moms Club events in cities across the country. You'll see us in Nashville, Atlanta, Dallas. We're going to be all over the place. So, moms, you can bring your momtourage of friends together, and we will commiserate, and we'll all talk about our kids dating. Like,
Okay.
we're
I
gonna
mean, I can do
educate
that.
you.
Yeah.
See, now I know what Shrekking was. Now you'll know, and so
I
we'll sound
mean-
really important and like we know what we're talking about. So
Yeah.
this is exciting. So moms, check that out. Also, if you want to be a Zoomer mom, like the moms that you saw on this show, please go to our website at InsideTheMomsClub.com, and there is a button you can hit and go and submit a form, put a little video up, and we may call you to be a Zoomer mom on our show. You can also find us on all the social media platforms at Inside the Moms Club. And we would also like to thank our sponsor, New Calm. If you put the words Moms Club in the code at checkout, you'll get 15% off every month of your subscription.
There you
It is
go.
well worth it. We would not be sitting here today, or at least Julie would not be sitting here today, if it was
I would
not
be a
for-
little bit more grumpy.
That's
I
right.
would be, yeah.
It helps
Maybe
you
not as kind.
sleep better, and it really does work. Deep sleep. I slept great last night because I had deep sleep.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
It overrode all the snoring that was going on in the room that we were
Good
sharing.
Lord. Yeah.
Okay. No, it was great.
Yeah.
Well,
Kitten
anyway,
snoring.
As always, this show goes by so fast. I'm sorry to see it end.
I
but
know.
another episode must end and make way for the next episode. And well, first of all, don't forget, if you don't laugh sometimes, you're going to cry. Say that every day. Remind yourself of that. And then we will see you next time inside the Moms Club. Hi, welcome to Inside the Moms Club, where being a mom is the coolest place to be. Here in the Moms Club, we believe that what embarrasses you now will make a great story later. And let's face it, you don't laugh sometimes, you're going to cry. Join us in having a good laugh together. I'm Monica Samuels. You are now inside the Moms Club, your private destination for all things mom.
If you see me running, stop me.